The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie sky is wide and high.
Attention Bravado, we interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special announcement.
Where are we now? The opossum's not going to stab me again, is it? Ooh. Can you please loosen these chains? They're chafing my wrists.
Possum. Oh, you've had the lunch. Stop asking so many questions. Do radio thing, radio man. Just do.
My thing? Great googly moogly, would you look at that? I can't remember the last time I saw a genuine setup like this.
This is all yours now. Take time. Relax. No funny business.
But I...
Have fun.
Well, isn't this a screwy situation I found myself in? But with a setup like this, how could anybody be mad? Look at all this gear. Blinking lights, frequency readers, working adjusters, and nothing's held together with duct tape or bubble gum. So I might as well make the most of my situation, wouldn't you say? So, without further hesitation, live from Bravado, recording from what I praise in some sort of torture chamber, I'm Bobby Dimes with the Wasteland Times, and you're listening to the Wasteland Times frequency. That's WTF for short. For whoever's listening, I'm a reporter from the greater Old York area. I found myself in your wonderful town after being kidnapped by... Huh? What? What did I do? Hold on, I'm writing something. I, Bobby Dimes, have been kindly and willfully brought to Bravado by the extremely friendly, very beautiful, and impossibly strong Braves for an all-expense-paid vacation. And I'm here on my own volition, and absolutely not against my will. If anyone says otherwise, they are a liar, and should be shot for their lies. Was that good? They give me a thumbs up, so I think that's good. I've had one hotsy-totsy time here in Bravado. I had the honor to attend one hell of a happening, witness political assassination, and saw some fascinating creatures I have not yet had the chance to see in the Old York area. So you could say Bravado is just full of surprises. So let me give you the lowdown on these snazzy happenings I witnessed, and I'm sure these stories from down south are bound to blow your wig. Our first story will surely leave you green with envy. A ball thrown by local Vegassian Candy Hearts, Diamond Devil of the Mirage Arcana, and Bravado's Bubblegum Bitch. If you were not there, you are most certainly square. Even the Grave Mine decided to join in the festivities and popped out some decorations to snazzy up the clip joint. But don't think this makes up for the whole end of the world thing, old GM. No, lending a hand to one party does not an apology make, even if it was the best romp I've seen in a while. And what a blow it was. Everyone dressed in their glad rags, not a single dead hoofer in sight, with patrons jollying up all the while enjoying finger sandwiches. I'm sure Haven would have been so jealous of the copious amounts of hors d'oeuvres you all had. Now you're probably wondering, I was at this party, and I ain't seen a cent of dimes. Well, if you saw a chair in the corner, dressed to impress, clad head to heel in feathers and streamers, being guarded by Shanklin, who I think is just a possum you all decided to strap a knife to, well then, you saw me. You'd be forgiven for not recognizing me due to my current appearance, and the fact that I was constantly fed appetizers that rendered me speechless for the duration of the party. Sadly, the festivities were cut short due to a surprise package sent by the Ford family. A bomb! From what I've gathered, this was an attempt at the life of a one Riker world star. Well, I suppose that's one way to crash a party, but it turned out to be a trip for biscuits. Luckily for Riker, the torpedoes missed their mark, and no one lost their head that night. Well, that's not entirely true. You could say this party was so good that people were dying to get in. One person who wasn't so lucky was a local gang leader, Admiral Sinkerswim of the Junker Punks, who was murdered during my visit. The murder turned out to be an assassination. This hit was allegedly taken out by one of Bravado's 13 tribes, the Longbirds. From what I've gathered, this tribe wasn't too keen on Admiral Swim, on the grounds that they had killed members of their tribe in the past, turning this case of malicious murder into a case of raunchy revenge. This was all done through the windows. If any Havenites are listening, that's their version of the guild. No acts of defenestration here. And the two hatchet men hired to bump them off were far and in the shadow. Fitting, really. If they're anything like Havens, this story checks out just fine. I'm glad the murder hobo culture is still alive and well in the wasteland. With that being said, Singer's death is also very sad. So let's dive into details now, shall we? During a battle with a rattle of fire raiders, the two thugs crept up and clocked Sinker from behind. Needless to say, it was lights out for Swim. After being thugged and dragged behind the morgue, what followed was the aforementioned assassination. Now, if that wasn't enough to get Sinker steaming, they were most certainly mad as a wet hen when they emerged from the grave mine to find their grave tax had been paid. The gall of those two to kill someone, then bail them out of debt? Gee whiz, go buy yourself something nice, I guess. But there's consequences to these things, you know. Cinco wasn't too jazzed on their surprise vacation to the grave mine, and believes Bravado added insult to injury by performing this hit while they were trying to help defend the town. Because of this, Admiral Swim has suspended Bravado's access to their boat and refuses to ferry anyone or anything in or out of Bravado's, labeling the town as ungrateful. But where there's death, there's also life. Some braves have taken the miracle of life into their own hands in recent times. Looks like some people really want to be parents. But with citizens as extreme and adventurous as braves, the run-of-the-mill stray child just simply won't do. No, instead this group has decided to try and hatch a cluster of suspicious eggs in the local lake. These eggs are rumored to belong to some sort of lake monster, and could hatch at any time, judging by the size of those Shelly boys. What's this group planning on using these ghoulish guppies for? Will they keep them as pets? Something scaly to love and adore for years to come? To fill the gaping void that sinks deep within us all, that solemn attempt to fill it with the joy of children? Or will they just train them to be killers, like a normal wastelander? Who knows? Part of me really wants to stick around and find out, while the other's itching to make like an egg and beat it before those eggs scramble. While I hesitate to make the acquaintance of that last ghastly guild group, there was someone I was honored to be introduced to. Listeners, I had the great pleasure of meeting genuine royalty during my time here. I was humbled to kneel before, albeit at gunpoint and handcuffed, Holy Queen Mother Jasper, first of her name and all-mother of the 13 tribes. A true image of opulence and beauty. Boy, was it hard not to get dizzy around this dame. I mean, this gal sure was a dish. Easy on the eyes and a real sweet patootie. Excuse me, I got carried away there for a moment. A natural one, who truly earned her title through the unification of 13 tribes, and put those tribes to good use during a recent war here, or so I'm told. But it is with a heavy heart that I confess our meeting was not under optimal conditions. I, along with many who follow and cherish the Queen, am sad to inform you that she has in fact fallen ill from the blood scourge, and just might be on her last stems as of late. But let me assure you, for someone who's about to kick the bucket at any moment, boy, could this gal charm the statue back to life. A character so full of passion and power, I find it hard to imagine beauty beyond hers exists. So I send my prayers to the great signal that her health return swiftly. But for now, keep on swinging, Mother Queen. To wash away the sadness of that last story, here's something much more horrifying. A giant sandworm buried beneath town threatens every Bravado citizen. Now, you braves are plenty rugged and probably aren't afraid of any oversized bullworm. But this isn't some plump grub we're talking about. Oh, no. This here's a leviathan worm. So if you think you can take on a creature buried beneath the surface and large enough to swallow an entire town whole, well then, best of luck to you. But some braves, in an attempt to calm the subterranean creep to sleep, have performed a grave mine ritual. Guess the old grave mine didn't think it was all aces to try a ritual on it, especially after it helped throw such a great ring-a-ding-ding. That, in retaliation, it began spitting out wave after wave of Zed and Raider to halt the Leviathan lullaby. After holding back countless enemies, it was a wave of raiders that forced the Braves to finally fall back. Some would consider this a defeat, but without any losses, personally, my hat's off to you for your tactical withdrawal. Besides, in the end, the town was successful in their ritual and triumphant in their rockabye wormy routine. The great beast had been quelled to sleep beneath the town, and should stay that way, at least until the next burning season, so I've been told. So don't worry, Bravado, everything should be fine. And if the ground starts snoring, well then just hope it stays that way, because the alternative might be just a little bit worse. Cheesy Pete, do you ever knock? Golly, that's a big box.
All right, get it.
I beg your pardon?
No, he's part of Bravado now, guys. Like, he wants to be here. Look at him. Candy, let go of the radio man.
Candy, do not let go of the radio man.
Shut up, Dimes. Get him in the box. No, there's not enough air holes, and he needs water and snacks and a newspaper to read, or he'll be sad. He has to get walkies twice a day. Candy, he can't stay here. He's got to go back. Now let him go.
Not in that box, I'm not.
Look, you guys are scaring him. Knock it off. I'm serious. Candy.
Candy?
Dimes. Bobby.
Deep in the